Ivy stunned up, gonna be eliminated. Carpe doing some work, however, manages to find two. Point gonna be put back over. Suddenly, we're into overtime. Elliot's gonna be knocked out of the match here, over onto the point, and Roar has half HP. Still manages to clean up two, though, as Alarm and Funny Astro will both be taken down. He looks for the halt, does Poco, but cannot find it, and the flip is right back into the hands of the Washington
They're
Justice.
Gonna have to rush.
Still 3 members down.
They're gonna have to rush back in. Carpe's trying to stick with his McCree here. Might be better fit.
Widowmaker.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I think he needs to go on Doom.
Desperate times calls for desperate measures.
They have no time here.
Philly, you better be crossing your fingers right now, because here comes Carpe. He's got the Widowmaker drawn out. They're on the point right now. Sato with a wrecking ball. Gonna be trying to buy some time. Jump back over with the grapple hook. They're chasing in deep. The flip is there. Alarm, however, gonna be taken down. Wrapping back around Corey. Pushes forward, gets the body shot. Tries to take him out, but Carpe will manage to find the kill. Poco alone on the point. Dangerously low. Will be melted down. Roar finds the kill. Carpe looking for a shot. Takes one. Finds Stratus. Puts him in the head. Now he's looking for the supports. Can't quite line it up. Gets sunk in midair. Over top of the pit. Carpe, can he do this? Bring it back from the brink. Jumps out, but Sato has already taken care of Aim God. Roar finds a pin. Funny Astro gone. He's got a sliver of HP. He is dead, and it worked. Carpe comes back with the Widowmaker. Dinks him in the skulls.
What's going on, everybody? It's Frito here for Your Overwatch. Only 4 games this past weekend, but we have a lot of huge plays to break down. None other than Carpe's last-ditch effort to secure the map, swapping to Widowmaker when he really should have been on a stall hero. That's why Wolf said he should be on Doom to be able to pressure the point. But due to some chaotic shot calling and huge playmaking, Philly rise to the occasion when the overtime wick is burning, as they always seem to. A lot went on in this clip. Let's break it down. With Fusion being forced to send their tanks to the objective, they're not going to have any peel for their backline. And the shot call here was to go attack it, dropping the objective, so they delete the main heal Alarm from the team fight, which means Roar's Reinhardt is just going to carve up the enemy Orisa. Roar does some serious work meanwhile on the objective with his big healing advantage, but as we know, if Carpe's still alive in the server, the team fight is still winnable. See, a major mistake with this play isn't to leave the point, in my opinion. I think this very nearly worked. The problem was, and those of you who are training up on CSGO or getting ready for Project A will need to remember this, you never take a 1v1 if you don't have to. Corey and Arc aren't on the same page when they peek into Carpe, whereas if they both flood in the door at the same time, Carpe can only shoot once, can only headshot one of you, and because they mistimed that peek, Carpe's allowed to handle them one at a time, and what's more, it seems like every big starting highlight in this video series comes around a health pack. Even though he's technically in a 2v1, it's not really, because he has an extra life able to heal himself with the Mega. Then, with the only character really able to contest him at this point being Arc, who's running away trying to regen his health, Carpe's allowed to use a shooting gallery point of view, lining up some seriously beautiful shots and swinging the point back. Remember, when your main healer goes down, your team has less sustain, so that means a big play has to happen quick, because if not, a prolonged poke battle will always go in the favor of the team that has more healing. Carpe didn't have much time to hit these shots before his team was going to go down. They were losing the objective brawl battle as Washington drew it up, but if you don't account for the head clicker, the golden snitch is going to come away with the victory. Lucio players, it may seem like an insane call to make, but I really think even at half HP, Arc should have just committed to the duel against Carpe. It's easy for me to say in hindsight, of course, but when you have a main heal alive and they don't, I think you can take the risk to let your team fend for themselves, and even just delaying Carpe from getting this angle would have been a big play and help extend the amount of time your brawl can exist without getting headshotted. But it's okay, Arc's a sick player. He ends up making a massive play later in the series on Temple of Anubis.
I'll be honest, I don't even think they really get one more attempt. They get half an attempt. They get one shot. At that Blizzard, there's the stagger. They needed Elliot. He needed to be the one to tag to start the fight, but he's the last to die. He's staggered, and that means it's up to Arc.
They need him to eat the Blizzard as well.
I mean, there's just no way. There's no way to realistically engage on this win.
13 seconds. They're pushing forward. They're chasing their way up. Carpe, however, the first one to fall. Have they gone too far?
Arc's on the point.
Going to be taken down. Arc is picking up. He's back capping it. Oh my God, the fusion! They don't realize it. Arc, he just goes ahead and snakes it out right up from underneath of them.
Oh, sick play.
Unbelievable.
This is another play where I've seen so many people complain about Philly's decision to go aggro in this situation, which I just don't agree with at all. And I think it's even more obvious when you look at exactly what ended up happening here. Going into the last fight, because the enemy has ult advantage and you have respawn advantage, tossing your ult in the transition point is an amazing call. And in fact, that part of the plan 100% worked for the Fusion. What they didn't account for is two players that made a big play in this situation. Corey wins his duel against Carpe, who can survive to put a dragon down the center lane, closing the door back to the point, which delayed Funny Astro's ability to come back and contest the objective. You see, a Lucio backcapping isn't that scary because you can send your Lucio to contest it. When two Lucios fight, who wins? Like, nobody, right? They could run around that point forever with neither of them being able to kill one another. So I don't think this was a shot calling fail at all. I think it was just a big play by Washington in a hectic situation. I don't even think, looking back at this, the Fusion would change their decision making on how they handled this, because it's a far worse idea to allow the offense time to get to the point, use those big ults on the objective to potentially wipe you entirely. Running outside to trade even at a disadvantage puts you at an advantage because you can respawn closer to the objective and ideally be able to stall before they're able to cap that last tick. Just because Washington outplayed their plan doesn't mean that it wasn't a good plan, because when they have those ults, they have a good chance of winning that fight anyway. Now, I'll try to sneak in some other teams in today's video as well, but I gotta be real, half the games were with Houston Outlaws, where 4 of their players had the flu, and well, let's just say it showed. An abysmal 0-6 map record for the weekend. They really couldn't get anything going, and I think this team fight perfectly encapsulates how badly their weekend went. Here's the one map they had basically no right to lose, needing a single team fight to push the cart in to secure Havana with a major ult advantage, Blizzard in pocket. All you have to do is not get your Blizzard eaten, but Gargoyle makes a huge Fury-esque play. Did you catch it? The 180 head juke turn in order to bait Hydration into throwing the Blizzard, turning back to nab it, deletes that free team fight from existence, not to mention the Diva bomb in the sky, zones out Raucous, which opens him up to Saya player's line of sight. Then Gargoyle comes down, adds insult to injury, taking out Blase. I mean, it's all just going wrong. And then now Outlaws don't have enough ultimates. They get caught out by Saya player's line of sight here, and they have no answer for him at all. They're running this really questionable Brig Lucio rushdown brawl comp that most people would say doesn't perform too well on long lines of sight up against the Widowmaker. It was just a rough weekend for the Outlaws. So if you don't mind, I would like to talk a bit more about the Fusion, because I think they played pretty sick. In particular, Sato, who was a main tank in the Overwatch League we've watched for 2 years, not shine too much, but I thought this weekend was his best performance ever. Both games he played quite well, and although not perfect, certainly was capable of making some huge plays. And with him being the only question mark on the Philly roster, those S-tier grand final contenders type teams are better look out if even Sato's laying in the hurt from the Fusion side. Sato was seeing a lot of success with just solid brawl mechanics. And I want to note, the Fusion are running a particular comp variant with Orisa Rhine and typically Alarm on the Batiste, not the Ana. Your tanks may still perform a lot of the brawl functions that are the centerpiece of this meta, but with far less healing and better poke damage, the team comp gives Sato less resources than the Ana pick would. So as Rhine, you have to be much more careful on when to choose to fight. And a death here on defense, I think Sato got blamed for this. As the brawl starts to commit, his health starts going down, and I think Alarm just gets a little too stingy trying to wait until the last possible second to drop the immortality drone, because that's the cooldown the main tank is looking for to give him a second life, so to speak. So I think at least a miscommunication on that one, maybe not 100% Sato's fault. But after this death leads to one of the most fragtastic Rhine clips of the weekend, and Alarm redeems himself, sneaking in an immortality field at the tail end of this to keep Sato alive at 100 HP and still swinging. Alarm as well, I thought, was a big playmaker for the Fusion. He's a guy that a lot of people wanted to crown one of the best flex supports in the league coming in as a rookie, and so far at least that looks like that might be the case. Batiste is a little bit harder to get value out of than Ana, I think, right now, but if you know your BAT player has insane aim, you can commit to it and get more offense out of your comp at expense of less resource for your tank, like I spoke about. Now, if we were critical of how Houston managed a clutch ult fight, here's one where Philly really shows some strong meta understanding. Poco places down a supercharger safe safe around the corner. This means that their comp, which already had a poke advantage, will just win this fight if Justice don't do something proactive. So they do. They put down the Dragon Strike and Blizzard, and look how Philly parts like the Red Sea. Sato did a good job all weekend saving Pin to Pin out of Blizzard, which is the one main way that Ryan can outplay it, and punishing the pursuit. Alarm whipped up his window to punish Stratus, peeking around the corner, trying to get kills out of that Mei ult. And really, in this meta, if you can't get kills with Mei ult, your whole ult economy just doesn't work. When Fusion aren't running Diva like this, Blizzard should be free, but you can just see how they were ready for it. Funny Astro speeding away on the wall, Poco using Fortify, Sato pinning out. Quite the great shake and bake maneuver. And with Fusion having their own Blizzard that successfully lands on point, that's going to be a map win. Well, guys, it's gonna be it for today's video. Not a lot of teams featured, but enough big plays to go around for sure. You guys have given this series an amazing reception, so I think we will keep doing it every week. And if you want to keep supporting the work that goes into this video series, be sure to hit the video with a like. We posted another Project A video onto our second channel, Clickheads, with more and more stuff coming out on that game, and it seeming like it could be right around the corner. We plan to make a lot of content on that game over there. So be sure to click the card on screen to head over and watch that video. That's been it for me. I've been Frito for your Overwatch. See you guys next time.
On the 2nd of that month, meaning March 2020, another embargo clause will be released for people who could already try the game. Now this means we are likely to receive a big dump of relevant news on or around that date. And Deepor comments by saying, there you could announce the download date of the Project A beta. What is certain is that the official launch would